Joining me now to break all of this down is senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Behnam Ben Taleblu. He focuses on Iran, non-prolific ballistic missiles, and international security in relation to the Middle East. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I just want you to give us your initial reaction to what has all transpired in the last 38 minutes.
Well, absolutely. The Islamic Republic is using ballistic missiles with heavier and heavier warheads. No doubt the Israeli left-of-launch mission to destroy Iran's launchers as well as missiles continues the pace. But the Islamic Republic is still firing ballistic missiles at Israel. It is still firing them at population centers. Pro-regime media outlets and pro-regime social media in Iran are tweeting pictures of fires in Haifa, of building impacts in Tel Aviv. The regime is trying to generate a status dividend from still being in the fight, even though it continues to get weaker and weaker.
You know, I was talking to Trey about this, and I mean, this is a residential area. I saw babies, 8-month-old babies being brought out of these buildings after this. Iran does not care about the loss of life here at all.
No, not at all. And you couldn't have a sharper contrast between the kind of state that Israel is and the kind of government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is. The Israelis have been targeting nuclear sites, military sites, targeting the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, those engaged in both foreign aggression and domestic suppression. Meanwhile, the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran is boasting that it is firing on population centers, boasting that it is firing on densely populated places like Tel Aviv and Haifa and Ramat Gan. This is a regime that is actually trying to draw blood. In military terms, these kinds of strikes are called counter-value strikes. The regime knows it cannot compete with Israel militarily. Therefore, by continuing to escalate the war and trying to draw blood and kill civilians, they're trying to erode the will of the Israelis to stay in the fight. And I think, and you think, I'm pretty sure you and Trey know, that they are misreading Israeli society here, which has proven itself so resilient in the pre- and post-October 7 Middle East.
What do you think the next steps are in the next hours, coming hours for Israel should be?
Well, certainly, as Trey was saying on the tail end there, search and rescue, putting out these fires is going to be priority number one, but making sure that the Islamic Republic and, more importantly, its military and even political leadership needs to understand that these strikes will come with a cost. And the longer the Islamic Republic continues to stay in the fight and escalate the conflict, the greater the price to the regime itself and perhaps even to regime survival.
Do you even think a deal can be struck between these two right now?
I certainly think that the president has been remarkably clear, President Trump, that is, that his desire is for a peaceful resolution to the Iran nuclear issue, which is the reason that triggered the Israeli strikes, that the Iranians were cheating. The Iranians were looking for a way to get to the bomb as cheaply and as cost-free as possible. But the more the regime stays in the strike and stays in the war, and the more the Israelis have military successes against the regime, the utility of a deal drops. I, for one, thought that, President Trump should not have been offered back in March and April to negotiate with the Iranians because he had the upper hand with National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 2. That was the memorandum that restored his successful maximum pressure campaign from term one. But it is exactly actions like this that destroy the utility for the president of being able to generate a political win by negotiating with a regime like this that continues to so openly and brazenly fire on civilian population centers. I think the bottom line analysis needs to be that this regime needs to go.
And I just want to, for anyone who's just now joining us, it's 5:42 a.m. in Tel Aviv. This happened within the last hour. We've seen kids with their backpacks on, with their dads and their brothers walking out of these buildings. You've got first responders in these buildings. It was about 5 residential buildings that were hit early this morning, right before the sun came up. These people are just trying to live their normal lives, go to school, make a living, and then they're having to deal with this. Behnam Ben, thank you so much for your time and your take on this. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.